What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas. We're on another property walk right now. It's a beautiful summer day. So we always do a property walk before we start the job. Let me wipe the clip bar. Let me say the clip bar. Anyways, this one is a whole property maintenance package. They're very popular. It's like we trim all the ornamental trees, all the shrubs. Anyways, just walk with me. I'm trying to get the customer to sign up to trim this right now, and we probably are going to come back and do it. Here, let me wipe this off. Fingerprints on the screen. There you go. This is a honey locust tree. I'll just stay away from that for now. But just know if you trim a locust tree of any kind, they're usually the most expensive tree to trim because there's so much wood, so much dead wood. It's so brittle that when you trim anything, it just falls and explodes all over the ground. So there's like 3 to 5 times the amount of cleanup time with certain different types of trees. All right, so we're trimming all these yew shrubs. These are called yews. There's all different types of yews of different sizes. We're just turning these into a hedge. Over here, these burning bush, I mean, these things are monstrous. If you back up and look at how big they are. We brought the orchard ladder with us for this one. Point at the truck. It's in the back of the dump bed. And so we'll literally be up there. But all that extra growth, when I'm walking with the homeowner, like a customer, and giving them a quote, I say, like, how much do you want us to trim? Because with burning bush specifically, we can cut them in half and they'll grow back. You probably don't want to cut them in half in the middle of freaking July, but because they'll go under stress. But they're super hardy, which means they're going to grow back. We're going to go all the way back until they're still green. But I mean, no doubt, we're cutting 15 inches off the sides and literally 3 feet off the tops. So all that's left is a much smaller version of this shrub. There's going to be debris all over the place. Make sure that, like I said, you're looking behind for any wires and cables and cords. Or there you go. It's like an internet line. One thing, I'll actually come back here. This is a great example. See these burning bush? These things are gonna like destroy your hedge trimmers. So hopefully you have multiple pairs, and you would want to use like your older or more beat up pair of hedge trimmers, something like this, because you're gonna be just mowing through them. But stuff like this, take the loppers or hand pruners and do all your big cuts first with hand pruners before you trim. And definitely don't let the trimmers touch the siding or the brick or anything. Another thing, if you were trimming with hand, anytime you're trimming your brick with like hedge trimmers, be super careful. Keep your thumb around the grip and don't touch the brick, because the brick could hit the blade. The blade could hit the brick. It kicks the trimmers back. And I've seen a guy had cut his hand wide open because it kicked the trimmers back and his hand ended up on the blade. Oh, look at this, a knockout rose shrub. Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, look at this. It's the Fibonacci sequences and all things. That's enough. Anyways. All this getting trimmed. All the way around. All back up in there. And just make it rain. Okay, over here. This whole, as you could say, privacy line of spruce trees. They're infected right here. From what I've learned, and let me know in the comments below. You got fungal infections. Okay, so this is called a monoculture. We're in Michigan, and monoculture means that there's the same exact species of trees or shrubs or plants. Excuse me, that went in my mouth. All in a row, which in an urban environment, I learned this stuff from certified arborist Daniel Miraval. I'll put some links below if you're interested in certified, arborists and tree stuff. And he talks about like these trees are native to like Colorado and the more arid parts of the world or the United States, and so sometimes they get here, like there will be Christmas tree farms, and then whatever trees aren't sold on Christmas, they just sell them to the nursery, and then the nursery sells them to homeowners, construction builders, and they're just plopping in all these trees all over the place in a non-native area, so they're highly susceptible in a high humid area like something like Michigan, so wet, especially with the ground, mulch, volcanoes, and basically they get fungal infections and they're super sensitive. So if there's a monoculture and there's a whole bunch of trees in a row that don't belong in this area, and they get a fungal infection, it could jump from one tree to the other, to the other, to the other, and now you have 14 freaking infected trees, and if you don't remediate it like immediately, then all the trees could die or they're in decline. So right here we have, I don't know, but there's fungal infections, insect infections, stuff like lichen's disease, what is it, cytosper canker, rhizophora, needle cast disease. Look up all these things and you can learn what could go wrong with the spruce tree, but don't ever tell your customer something that you don't know, because I'd be like, I don't know. Even though I rattled all that stuff off to you, if I can't actually diagnose it for real, I just don't say anything. I just say I don't know. But anyways, we're trimming the dead off of this. Everything up to about, 8 feet. You can see how it's hanging low and they can't like cut the grass. But only on this side, not on the sidewalk side. So keep this living stuff, but all the dead stuff, yeah, all this dead stuff, some of this would start to go up to about 8 feet. And we'll do an 8-foot clearance back to the tree. Leave that one alone. Trimming all this stuff, all this low-hanging fruit. Trimming it all. I'm telling him we should prune it all the way back to the tree, of course. It's a proper way to prune it, just for his preference. I know that sounds a little weird, but I had anyway. So we're trimming this. This is a jack pine. This whole lower shelf, we call these shelves. So before you do like any actual tree trimming, you should wear a hard hat, proper safety gear, be trained. Don't have someone trim trees that doesn't know how to trim trees. Make sure you're properly insured to do it. Are you insured to stay on the ground and trim stuff from the ground? Or are you climbing trees or bringing freaking a crane on the property? It's totally different scopes of work, so just be mindful of that. We're just staying on the ground here and trimming this whole lower shelf of branches. And then with the pruners, we're reaching up there and just trimming a little bit of those tips so there's nice clearance. That's what we're looking for, is clearance. This will get elevated some. Now come across the chasm. We're gonna do a light cleanup of all the big stuff all in here. This all here is getting trimmed because it's all over the city sidewalk. We're gonna go along here and make sure this is a straight line again, so no one's like getting their face scratched as they're walking by. We're also gonna go a couple feet in. Not everything, but we're gonna go and rake this out, because see how it's all spilling over onto the sidewalk. So we're gonna get nice clearance on the sidewalk, rake it, and then the excess we'll just take the blower, just kind of blow it and reseed it back. So it's clean. So we're cleaning this, we're cleaning up here and elevating, so we have nice clearance here too. Now back over here, we're almost done. This is one of my favorite types of jobs. This is one of my favorite types of jobs. You know why? You know, I feel like because of this YouTube thing, I make a funny accent. I'm not even thinking of anybody. I'm just making, because I grew up watching comedy and Saturday Night Live, and people are like, you can't talk like that. Somebody gonna get mad. Listen, this is my favorite type. Customers watching. I got literally fired from a company for doing this, for making YouTube videos. Worked out, didn't it? So, listen. Now I ruined the joke. Let's go. This is my favorite type of job because you literally see it, trim it, and make it disappear. You're not on your hands and knees doing all this tedious stuff. So, we're trimming this jack pine. The first and some of the second shelf up there. Kind of weird. We didn't even talk about this with the customer. But I'm assuming we should just take the stuff touching the sheds. And then over here. Actually, don't even touch it because we didn't talk about it. I just called the customer to make sure. This here, we'll just come out about 2 to 3 feet from the edge of the roof line of this gazebo thing, and we'll just trim it and trim all this sucker growth. And I think that's all he wants there. That's all. Now over here, I'll end the video with something funny. We'll go back to the locust tree. This is a dead piece right here. This is one of the things where it's not part of the job, but if we're ahead of time, we'll just trim that for free. It's just one dead piece up there. We could just reach up with the pruners, falls, throw it in the dump trailer. But I don't know if we'll get to it or not. And that's all. So, what was the point of all this? I don't know, it was fun, it was entertaining. And let me know any questions below, because I will make videos that have more details. It'd be fun. We gotta go to work. Goodbye.